really what, you know, clicked us and like, got us like on that level of just being cool friends, and then yeah, we never really talked about it, but we gonna do something because he's always kept it real, and he's never really even fucked with me until I
Oh,
dropped something
no
with.
cussing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, y'all.
Until I dropped something with my friend Pounds, and then he liked that, and then that's when he like got behind me, which I respect because, at the end of the day, not everybody's gonna like what you do, and that's okay. That doesn't mean everything you do is gonna be great. Like I feel like everything I do is not, whatever you want to say, grade A or whatever. You know what I mean? This is about growth. So I just appreciate him being honest with me and coming at me like that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Regarding Pounds and all of the different artists that you've worked with, because you have a nice portfolio, it's very robust. A lot of heavy hitting MCs on there. How did you cross paths with some of these people? Would you say it's like divine intervention, or do you feel like it had to do with you showing and proving yourself to them? Like, can you share a couple stories? A couple in particular, I'm going to ask about, but I just want to hear which ones you're going to say.
For me, it's been half and half, like you just said. So like some of it has been organic, just being able to work with people that I know and and just very much for beat or I want to work with you and whatnot. And then sometimes honestly, like with my homie Riggs from Rochester, New York, shout out my homie Riggs. Like I hit up the homie Vidon about that. Platinum producer Vidon. He's worked with Dave East, all that. If you're not familiar with them, that's the homie. He's the one that actually gave me that alley oop and introduced me to Riggs, and that's how I started working with him. So it's just about putting yourself out there and just I'm just grateful that everybody, for the most part that I work with, at least 80%, it's all been on an organic relationship. I never paid nothing like that. It's been on some brotherly love type stuff.
Yeah, that's what's up. So a couple ideas that I had that I did want to share with you. Like, say for example, how did you end up linking with Bea? I wanted to hear that story. Bea Lakari. So
Oh,
I'm gonna play that
yeah,
song, y'all, and
yeah,
you're gonna love it. Trust me.
yeah. So that was interesting. So if people don't know, I'm gonna enlighten you a little bit. So back in the days, at least like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, SoundCloud was like the scene. You know what I mean? Like everybody was coming out. That's when all the Dilla Babies came out, like in 2010, and really everybody was just pretty much low in theory and all that type of scene. But back then, that's when it happened. So I was just going through life, you know what I mean? Really, really down and out on my luck. I was nobody at that point. I was working a 9 to 5, and I would come home, you know what I mean, and just be tired from working, and I would just make a beat here and there, and I was really going through it. And yeah, she just hit me up and was like, "Hey, I kind of want to see what beats you have," and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Cool," and I sent her some beats, and she picked that beat, and yeah, from there was history. From there on, that's why she's always have a special place. And even now that I'm further and I'm signing all that, she will always have a special place. So shout out Bea Lakari from Baltimore. We've been on Selection, we've been on BBC, so we did our little run at the time when we did drop. We're trying to work on an EP, but she's a real artist, meaning that I send her beats all the time and she's not feeling it, and that's good. I love when people tell me that. You know what I mean? I don't want nothing to be forced. So if you don't like what I do, that's good. Let me send you another batch because I'm definitely gonna keep working on it. No butthurt or nothing like that. It's all love.
So, in terms of someone like Bea and artists who wanna work with you, when Bea gets a batch of beats from you, does she get back to you right away and tell you these are not for me, or does she ever say like, "Hey, I like this one, but there's some horns in it. I'm not really feeling the horns," or like, how does that work? What do you like from an artist in terms of when you send a batch of beats out?
Well, with her, she's so special. I love Bea. Within a day, letting me know like, hey, I'm not feeling this or I'm feeling this, like right away.
Mm-hmm.
She'll tell me because I'll send her at least like 15 to 20. So that's usually my beat packs. I send from 15 to 25 usually beats, and it doesn't take much. Usually, I've never had a problem. Our artist always at least picks one or two from that batch. So, you know, she's like really the one of very few people that would be like, oh, I'm not really feeling it. It's because she has her own sound and what she's trying to represent, which is why I respect her so much because she knows what she wants. And I think every artist, producer, no matter what you do, you should know what you want and know what you're here to do. So yeah, respect.
I feel that. I feel that. With that being said, intro the song. This is the one that I fell in love with you and Bea, and I know you have more after this one. We might play another, but can you intro this one for us, please?
Yeah. This is Bad Dreams featuring Bea Lakari. Shout out Joe K, Selection, all that. Yep.
Are you on the Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi, you're on that small part thing. So I still have the hotspot, so it's gonna take it back.
So should I get off yours?
No, no, that's why I gave her the cord because do you need me to put it on like do not disturb or will it
Yeah,
just
that would
ring?
help. The fingernails are like trash right now.
It says you're not in. He said that you're not in, like you can't see you.
I just got kicked out.
Like unless you put it on airplane mode first.
They can't hear me right now, right? Okay. Hey, so look it. You can't even fathom this type of shit. Crazy. And all the tops have boxes of records too.
That's your video.
Oh shit! I was like, what the fuck? That shit looks. That shit looks. My bad. I'm like, holy shit, who is that? Digging like me. Holy shit.
That was beautiful. That was one of the first songs that I got to hear. I've always known you were a diverse artist. Don't get me wrong. We have a history, and I think the reason why you always circle back and tell me what's going on with you is because of our history. I believed in you right from the start.
Yep.
I mean, from your first instrumental project.
Yes.
And I bought it. I actually
Yes.
fell in love with it and I purchased it because it spoke to my soul personally. And I believed in this artist enough that I was willing to pay money for his work.
Yes.
I didn't ask for it like, oh yeah, let me get that. It's dope. Let me have it. And that's sometimes what I feel like a lot of people do is they want to support their friends, but they don't realize that supporting their friends also means paying for their work and supporting it that way, sharing it with others. You can buy it for someone else and give it to that person, for example. So I definitely want to, if I can, I'm going through my purchases right now while I wait for my assistant to see what we can play. But are any of these clean? I know probably none of them are. La Promesa, the Pecador.
Yeah, no, those ain't clean, but for sure the Desayuno, I think instrumentals are good for just like when you on the freeway from work or when you know what I mean. It's definitely everyday life stuff. That's what Adam Mercado is. It's about empowering my people. So
I like that. Let's talk about how you named the projects and where these ideas came from.
okay, so which one you talk? Which one?
Well, the first one isn't really themed, but then from La Mercado.
No. The first one is themed. But my very first release is L.A. Mercado, so it's L.A. Market,
Right.
and what that means is like I'm L.A., so I'm from L.A. Everybody else on that project is not from L.A., so it's just like this is the L.A. market. It's like a shrimp gumbo type thing, and I'm
Right.
bringing everybody from around the world on my project, bringing them to L.A., which is the L.A. market. That's why when you see on the front cover, it's a girl with three dots, where Cortez is with a Uzi, a chola basically, because that's what I am.
But
That's
she's a paleta girl too.
exactly, you know what I mean. So we positive and we negative when it has to go there, but it's not about that. It's about respect. That's what we stand for in LA at least. It's about respect. That's what we're about. So yeah, it's just really about embracing who I am and what I am, and not only because my mom's a Christian, so I had to enlighten her about it. It's like you can't be ashamed of your past. You are who you are, even if you know gone through the gangster or whatever that is, but that's still who you are. So you know what I mean? Like you gotta always embrace who you are, no matter what that is, even if it was something negative at the time. That doesn't mean it can't be positive now, and you can't be, you know what I mean? You can't grow and you can't be on some positive stuff because of your past. You can still embrace your past and still be positive. You understand? Like that's something I'm very passionate about because my dad's dad was a gangster, and I come from all that, which is unique coming from California because only California people can relate to that. There's no, you know, Chicanos or whatever that type of essay or that type of person, outside of the West Coast. That's a West Coast thing. So yeah, it's just about embodying what I am and where I come from, and my culture.
Definitely. I do want to say though that VHS self-titled, well, I consider that your first project.
Yes, it
It
actually
is
is
because
because
that's
that's
the
the
first
first
like
like
vinyl that I
vinyl that
got.
I
That
got.
was a
That was a
7 inch,
7 inch,
and it is an
and it is an
instrumental
instrumental
project.
project.
I
I
haven't have
haven't
like
have
a
like
like an
like an
album like where
album.
you could hear it. Because I figure that my personally my personally
Any beat could be a classic. It's only a classic when vocals are added to it. So
Mm,
that's what I mean by that. Like my album, I feel like that. That's when like my first release was. But you're absolutely correct. That was my first official final and release was the self-titled VHS.
perfect, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get in on a couple of the songs. Hopefully, my assistant unlocks them for us. And until then, I want to play "Dead Inside." And this
Was it a
was it a
freestyle?
freestyle?
you know
You know
what?
what? She just came with it one day, like, hey, like because I send her beats, all the time, and she's like, hey, I wrote the song to one of your things, and it was around Halloween. She's like, yeah, and it's an airy vibe, and I think it just goes perfectly for what you do, because Bea, she comes from a more positive upbringing, not really struggling like that. She's Indian, so for her to like really tap into my world and like on that more ghetto street life stuff, it was very dope but eerie at the same time because she's still coming with that like street vibe, and yeah, it was just a beautiful thing. So she just freestyled it, and she's like, hey, look, I dropped the video, like that's it, and it never was released anywhere. It's just literally a video on Instagram, and yeah, that's just what it was.
Wonderful. We're gonna play it and then we'll let them know how they can hear it again by going to Instagram. So we'll shout out Bea's handles. Hopefully you have those. So I'm gonna play that. This is Dead Inside Freestyle. I love that she studies you and then brings back something. And she's a malleable artist. It's really dope.
Yes.
Shout out to you, Bea.
Yes.
You can't even fathom this type of shit. Crazy. And all the tops have boxes of records too.
Yeah, we'll definitely punch it in. He's showing your videos and stuff, which is dope. I think that disconnected the studio monitor. Awesome. Get inside. So that was just a freestyle that she did. I love how she the struggle that even though she might not necessarily experience it herself, it sounds to me like she listened to some of your music. She probably studied the other artists that you've worked with and just took that and ran with it. So that's really dope. Shout out to Bea. Let's if you know her social media, let's share it so that people, if they want to hear that again, they can hop on her IG and just send her some love.
At B EYA LI.
In terms of yours, can we give everybody yours?
Yes, it's at VHS. See you, VHS Collectors Unite.
I love that. How did you end up with that name, the Collectors Unite?
Well, to be completely real with this situation, it's kind of crazy because there's actually in the world people that collect VHS tapes. Something that was very foreign to me until I really started indulging into my name. But I've always been a VHS collector. That's what's been ironic. I've been collecting only anime VHS tapes for like 10 years. My collection is actually crazy. I've been waiting for somebody to call me out on it so I could showcase it. Just to be like, what? You tripping? But for me, it was just more about VHS. I mean, everything's deeper with me, but just to sum it up real quick, like VHS pretty much sums up my childhood. When I was growing up, everything was a VHS tape. I remember I couldn't afford cable or nothing, so I used to go to other people's places and be like, "Hey, you got that WrestleMania? Here's $5, bro. Let me get that VHS tape." So like for me, I even remember watching my first Friday bootleg on VHS tape. So I'm 36. VHS is just it really embodies my life and growing up. Like that was a VHS tape. So and then not to mention my sound would be a VHS tape compared to like about the aesthetics and what that is, what that fully embodies a VHS tape. It would be more like real to real musically if I had to like put it into one of those things. But yeah, it's just it represents me. I'm 36. I'm an old school guy. So yeah.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a little something while we take a break. This is the soundtrack of the street, y'all. Check out this mix.
But I was gonna say that maze one, the maze overlay one with Estee Knight, that one's good.
Okay, something's going on with this monitor speaker.
It's okay. You know how it is.
I just can't, I'm like not connected. Wait, I hear it. What the fuck?
It works. It's on. What's wrong?
I was playing Bayas and I wanted to put it on so everybody could hear it and it wouldn't come on.
That's working.
I know, that's why I said, what the fuck?
Because I want to add at least, because I had to add, Estee Knight's hot. He just was on the last two West Side Gun albums.
Yeah.
I want to add him just to show him too, like, hey, you're getting love in LA. Because once this COVID's up, you know how much money everybody's going to be making? Like, going streets, they're already offering like 1,000, 2,000 because you just released that shit with mugs. Like, so that's what I want.
I just don't want to search for it. We need a little interlude while we were getting it together. I am going to get into this track. This one is featuring Pounds, and it's called Francis Coppola. So we're going to check that out.
Today, crack, heroin, cocaine, and other drugs are a multi-million-dollar business in Rochester and are run by groups who are younger and far more violent than the mobsters of old. Yeah, put a zip up in the sky. They want to see me in a bag with the zippers on the side. Body stiffing with a tie. My kids crying, tears dripping from their eyes. Wipe the shells off, stick my fingers in the pie. I fuck these rappers comfortable, living with a lie. ACP, you know I'm cartel fresh. Go to ACP, out the RLX. Low tickets make the Carvel stretch. Spray the AR, smell flesh. Pellets in the asphalt when the rain stop. Let my cash talk till my veins pop. King shit, put a collar on your bitch, cause you run around with $1,000 like you rich. I don't crack jokes on the internet. I go for crack smoke, living in the chest. My city on fire, so I got a vent. Make it past 20's an accomplishment. So salute if you breathing. 70 degrees, they'll be shooting this evening. Bad kid from a worse place. Born in it since my dad slid in the first base. Too much sad shit and your nerves break. How I go from Catholic to the church faith. That's too much death. Body every day, I put that on my two sons' breath. White spin for rapping a J. Better that than
Sorry,
a light
you're in the
stage
camera
crash
too.
on my tray. I'm forever move away. I spend everything I save just to never do a day. Won't violate the mob honor. We die of old age in the garden like the Godfather. Man, how movements get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I'm like lose it. Plan how movements get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I'm like lose it. Plan how movements get on some rude shit. I keep living like this,
Oh,
I'm
that.
like lose it. Plan.
All right. We needed to take a little minute from that one, but that one was found. It's called Francis Ford. I used to call it Francis Coppola. Did I call it that this time too? I might have.
It's okay.
Francis Ford, y'all. You can see that one on YouTube. It is available on Bandcamp, and I think I heard it streaming on Spotify as well.
Yes, it is.
That's dope. So what made you change over from not streaming at all to finally deciding to stream?
Well, here's the thing: is I still don't do that. That's Pounds. So like when me and Pounds work, like when I do work with a fit like signed artist, like I give him the beat. So he does the beat, and then I just do the production and all that. So when I do work with a signed artist, like I give him the beat, and then I just do the production and all that.
You can't even fathom this type of shit. Crazy. And all the tops have boxes of records too.
Just so everybody, because I know COVID, so people could support. Because I noticed that like from the 6 years of being a professional producer, is like not everybody has a lot of money to support. So for instance, when I put out a pen for $10 and I made 100 of them, like a lot of people supported because they could afford $10, they could afford a pen. But you coming out with champion sweaters for $70 or whatever, not everybody could afford that. Just the same thing with like even vinyl. So with the black vinyl, that's like for the common person, like, okay, you don't have, you're whatever, you're struggling, you're going through it, it's cool. So here's the black vinyl, you get it for the cheap. But yeah, if you want that OBI colored vinyl, you're gonna have to pay. And it was 50, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like my next release, we're gonna start selling the OBIs and the color vinyl for 100, and the black's gonna be 50, just because this is art. And something that I want people to really understand is like, I'm the artist, so therefore I depict the value. You can't tell me what my art is worth, and you don't know how many records I'm buying, how much money I'm spending behind the scenes. That's the thing that people don't understand. Just the record to sample, then everything else that comes with it. So when
Can we break that down? Can we
Yeah.
explain that a little bit? Because every time I see you, you're carrying vinyl, and sometimes you get caught in the rain with it. So
Exactly.
that's a problem too. Then you got to store it.
Exactly.
But then, can you explain a little bit about the process? Because I don't think people are understanding what it's taking for you to create these beats, and the value of it.
Yeah. So like what people don't get is like, I think the reason why I'm ahead and why I'm doing so good is because I do what other people can't, or other people are not willing to do. I don't think there's anything special about me. I don't think that, I have this special gift. I just think that I'm willing to put in the work that other people ain't, and that's carrying 3, 4 bags of records exactly at 12 a.m. going from Rancho Cucamonga to North Hollywood to Long Beach back to, what I mean? Like the stuff I do, people don't do because I love this and this is just a lifestyle for me. So yeah, it's just about I dig, at least three, 2 or 3 times every week, no matter what I am, no matter what financially I'm looking at. Like, I've been through it all and I have records everywhere. Like I tell everybody, I don't have a car, but I have cars and records, you know what I mean? So like I'm just really into this music stuff and nothing else really makes sense to me unless I'm really doing music and fully embracing it and embodying it. Hip hop is something you live, it's not something you do. So
I really believe that firmly. Some of us aren't quite as appreciative of what it takes to make a soulful track or something that moves you, as others are. Some people are just kind of like, okay, now what else you got? Okay, now what else you got? Chica Blanca, is that one that I can play even though my assistant didn't? No. Wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna throw that one. Let's talk a little bit about the process for Chica Blanca and give them some background on it.
Okay, so Chica Blanca, I have an album with a up and coming artist. He's actually successful before. He just a lot of artists are rebranding. So
your camera.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Put the phone there.
Yeah. Okay, so with
we multitasking, yeah.
Exactly. So with my guy, his name is Maze Overlay, and he actually hit me up to basically rebrand. He branded restarted his name, and he's worked with Rock Mars. He's done a lot of stuff. He went by somebody else before, but we don't need to get into that. So his name now is Maze Overlay, and he came to VH to give him a good album. So you already know, I hooked him up, right? And yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So this is what this reflects, and this album is called Border Kids. I'm from California, so that's California and TJ. That's the border that I experienced my whole life, and he's from Arizona, so he experienced Nogales and Sonora. No, I'm lying. Is it Chihuahua? No, it is Sonora. I am right. See, I am right. No, it's Sonora because El Paso is Juarez. So correction. I was correct. See, that's why you always go with your instincts, ladies and gentlemen.
But whether you're wrong or you're right, you're always right.
Exactly. So that's what this reflects. It's called Border Kids. This is an album that's going to be coming out in a month or less. This is going with Este Nack. I know you heard of him. If you're familiar with the scene, he was on the last 2 West Side Gun albums. Shout out to homie, from Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, and we got a couple more special guests on there like Teddy Andres and a couple other hitters. But yeah, this is Chica Blanca with my friend Maze Overlay featuring Este Nack.
Here we go. You don't need to get off though. Stay on. Trust me. Here we go, y'all. The reason why you don't need to get off is because we'll have this link as soon as this show's done, and you can literally. Or go ahead. You wanna grab it? Go get it. Go get it. Because it looks sick. Let's go. You gotta take your phone.
It's cold work, yo, I stay with the Fargo. White girl problems, but mates never argue. It's none other than the one to get your face number. Son of a gun, I got something for your baby mother. Winter the summer, rain the way that can take the under. Hit the county, she never rise in the case number. Yeah, can't live without her. She getting loud and I'm getting louder. But she don't make a sound when I give her powder. She the one that give me power. She the one that give me power. Whoa, bonus, I'm in the building, you guys both. Try to show us how to flex in this line. Five cutter, I am all in my life forever, but I am hard. Time, this is never rolling the wise heart. Drop niggas like you're gonna call this nigga, but so I'm part of phenomenal collide. Something that the represent the company called. From truck, bring it a black mom. Highway, got the plan for it. Records the bitch and I can't come in the truck. Made a beast like Marky the Charm. Bullets cut in the body, get your bullet just like that one time. I'm head down, smoking shot. Trying to do the good on the fucking wild. Digging down a couple of holes now. Can't live without her. She getting loud and I'm getting louder. But she don't make a sound when I give her power. Nah, nah. She the one that give me power. She the one that give me for the connoisseurs. Only homie, I don't even need the friends. Take the B side, they don't even see the fence. Low key the police, I'm playing defense. Yeah, this thing time, I ain't trying to see the fence. I got a chick to keep it cheap for a PLS. Nobody hold me down like a bad habit. Take a sniff and she fucking like a black magic. Support the rap and she don't wanna see that trap. But she know what's adding up like mad. All I got is the profit in the bag. That's it. I'm about the white diamond.
Yo, we're gonna run this one back. We're gonna run it all the way back, okay? So we're gonna do it. We're gonna take it from the top right now. This is how we do it on Soundtrack of the Street. VHS produced, y'all.
Bendición de Dios este trabajo. Gracias a Dios. ¿Qué hacemos? Es lo que invito, es la gente. Voy a morar, aquí tengo mucha pobreza. Está difícil la vida que la.
Lawrence and the Jessica. I got a plethora. No drama, just a cock from the heckler. What's up, man? Yeah, I'm copping on the regular. Transport the Blanco, I promise I'll remember you. Niggas cross like braids when she bring it back. From the ditchy to the back, you can smell the gas. The premium over diesel, the feet of lid. Lamping like a pet with the crib, I let the chickens in. Face in the marble. Raised like an Asian and can't travel like cargo. It's cold work, yo, I stay with the Fargo. White girl problems, but mains never argue. It's none other than the one that get your face number. Son of a gun, I got something for your baby mother. Whether the summer rain or rain, that can take me under. Hit the county, she memorizing the case number. Yeah, can't live without
Love.
She getting loud and I'm getting louder. But she don't make a sound when I give her powder. She the one that give me power. She the one that give me power. Sure. Hey, y'all. See you know. Got the practice out of the good. True the Olympic and bonus. I'm in the building. You got whoa. Try to show us how to flex in the sky. Five star of iron. Got living life forever. But then I got more. Time artists never running the wise heart. Drop niggas like it's gonna call this thunder with Sean Carter. Put up in the color. Continental represent the company. Front truck launch. Going to bring it a black month.
All right. We did the best we could with that one, man. We did the best we could with that one.
DJ Forcefield in the mix.
I had to get off because you too many cussing.
Because
Yeah.
it was only once, though.
Yeah. But once is enough to get me
Yeah, I know.
sent away.
I'm sorry.
Thank you,
about that.
Forcefield, for saving me. I appreciate it. You always come through when I need you to. Every once in a while, one slips out, y'all, but that's what happens with hip hop. So, VHS, I just want to thank you so much for coming through. We are going to see you on Monday for Behind the Boards Oracle edition of the B side. So, let's just give some quick shout outs and let everybody know upcoming projects you have and how they can find you.
Yeah. I got a few upcoming projects. Just be on the lookout. You already know I'm working with everybody in the game right now. The stuff I got with Vinny Paz, that's gonna be on the lookout. Jedi Mind Tricks, Bodega Bams, you know what I mean? Tam Boys. I got just too much stuff, so just be on the lookout. And you can find me at VHSCU on Instagram, whatever.
That's what's up. Follow him on Bandcamp, y'all. I would strongly suggest, if you haven't started collecting it, collect a vinyl from VHS. They're going to not only hold their value, but I feel like they're going to double and triple their value in the next decade, next 5 years or so. So I see it as currency, and don't miss out on that. I'm always going to put you on, y'all. So this has been another episode of Soundtrack of the Streets Behind the Boards edition. Shout out to Sparky Love for all of your assistance in helping me to curate this episode and the upcoming episodes. Can't wait to see you here in Cali. VHS, thank you so much for coming through. We will see you again on Monday, and let's celebrate. You had that good news. You kind of slipped it in really quick. You got signed.
Yeah. You already know I got signed with, the label and all that. So yeah, you're about to see me in Mexico in a couple weeks. So yeah, you already know.
That's dope. Congratulations. Can't wait to celebrate with you. Thanks again for always coming back through and sharing all of your good works with me and all of my friends on 101.5 FM. We are now syndicated. Soundtrack of the Street is a syndicated show, y'all. Oratory Glory is a syndicated show. And shout out to my B-side brothers. We have the Oracle Edition B-side show coming up on Monday. It's going to be another Behind the Boards featuring VHS and some of his friends on all the different tracks that he's done. So I'm excited to see who pops in on that. It's going to be dope. Thanks, y'all. Good night. Awesome. I appreciate your help and bearing with us while we work through the kinks on that one. I'm going to have to edit that show for show. Thank you so much.
It slipped out twice. I caught it.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, we appreciate y'all for tuning in on the stream. Thanks for helping out and showing your support and love. Thank you. We will edit this and put it back up again, and it's going to be dope. We'll put all the music in. Thanks, guys.